Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project and Magnetic Reversal News, bringing you a magnetic excursion update Thursday, August 1st, around 8:15 p.m. Mountain Time 2024. A long-duration M8.2 solar flare early today produced a CME that appears to be headed mostly west, but in the newest model, a component is headed towards Earth on the 3rd. Keep calm. It's boom time. Wildfire encroaches on homes near Denver as heat hinders the fight. Here's the recap of wildfires in the West. In Denver, a wildfire on the edge of Metro Denver crept within a quarter-mile of evacuated homes, but authorities said Thursday morning they were hopeful to save hundreds of threatened residences as they grapple with sweltering temperatures and firefighters suffering heat exhaustion. The fire was among several threatening heavily populated areas of the Colorado foothills, including one in which one person was killed earlier this week. Almost 100 large fires are burning across the western U.S., the largest being the Northern California's Park Fire, which has burned more than 400 houses and other structures, officials reported Thursday. New large fires were reported in Idaho and southeast Montana, as well as North Texas, the nexus of the Schmexis. And the Quarry Fire southwest of Denver suburb of Littleton encroached several large subdivisions. Neighborhoods with nearly 600 homes were ordered to evacuate. So, bad things happening in the West. Hopefully, we can get some good precipitation on some of these fires. Here, let's take a look at the wildfire and smoke map. Most of the country is covered in some type of wildfire smoke haze, except for the southeast and the southwest. The thickest haze is over near Oregon, where there are dozens of wildfires burning, as well as Northern California. So that is the current smoke map for the U.S. If we can just blow up here to the Denver metro area, you could see some of those fires burning close to the city. Powerful Bo Echo slammed Omaha yesterday with hurricane-force winds. The presence of a Bo Echo on radar can indicate damaging winds, large hail, and tornadoes. Power Outage US reported more than 250,000 outages during the height of the storm. And that storm produced 100-mile-per-hour wind gusts ripping through Lincoln and the Omaha areas. As severe weather moves through eastern Nebraska and power outages were reported. Earlier today, 129,000 without power in Nebraska, 17,000 without power in Kansas, 13,000 in Missouri. Let's refresh this and see where we're at. Still 100,000 without power in Nebraska. Kentucky now in the picture, 24,000 without power there. And California, 10,000 without power. The hail map for Wednesday, July 31st, shows lots of gorilla hail. 12,902 households impacted by hail 1 inch or larger, 864 households impacted by gorilla hail. That was 1 square mile in Kansas. Here is the severe weather outlook for Thursday as storms move through the upper Midwest. And the severe weather outlook for Friday is more mid-Atlantic and East Coast. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis declares state of emergency ahead of Gulf storm Invest 97L. And we have all the models and the full forecast right now. And here we are with Tropical Disturbance 1, 40% chance of cyclone formation in the next 48 hours. And a 70% chance of cyclone formation through the next 7 days as it makes its way up through the Caribbean, into the Gulf, and across the Panhandle and out into the Atlantic here, offshore of South and North Carolina. Here are the current tracks from the spaghetti models moving through 1, 2, 3, 4 days. 3 or 4 days, depending on the model, is when we could see the first landfall of a tropical storm on the Panhandle of Florida. The current intensity tracks show 2-3 days out, not even a strong Cat 1 on any of the models. One model is bringing it to almost Cat 3 strength up into the Cat 2 level here. So I don't think this is going to get that strong based on the current models, and we'll walk that all through with you when we look at the GFS. Heat building across much of the country. Severe thunderstorms and heavy rainfall in the Midwest. Dangerous heat will persist over the South, Central Plains, and Mid-South. This heat will spread south and east to the lower Mississippi Valley, Gulf Coast, and Mid-Atlantic through Friday. Another heat wave is building across the Northwest and northern high plains through Saturday, which is simply going to add insult to injury to those fires. Severe thunderstorms and flash flooding are expected across portions of the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley today. Hey. And there we can see that potential hurricane lingering off the coast here Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, August 5th, 6th, and 7th. But let's bring the model back and see how it enters the picture here. A strafing move across Cuba and a dwindling fingerprint here is going to bring it across the west coast of Florida as it intensifies, according to the most current models, strafing that area in Fort Myers that got destroyed a few years ago. The good news, this will just be a tropical depression or a tropical storm at this time. It's going to quickly make its way across Florida, maybe cause a huge flooding threat for some of the big rivers there, and then linger off the coast of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina as it intensifies maybe to Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3. It's far off. It's going to sit there for days and then make landfall. That is the current model. Let's take a look at the total accumulated precipitation throughout the model run here and see if we have any good news for the West and those wildfires. Very sparse precipitation in the wildfire region here. And you can see that massive amount of precipitation from that slow-moving tropical storm showing 14 or more inches for the coast of South and North Carolina. That could be absolutely devastating. We'll obviously know more as the days go on and the models get better at predicting what will actually occur. Stay tuned for more updates from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. Holy macaroni, look at Greenland go. Day after day, record gains in the melt season. At the lowest point of the melt season, there are 3 gigatons of ice. Today, 2 gigatons of ice building on Greenland. That just doesn't fit the narrative they're feeding us. Now does it? Seismic update, low-level activity worldwide, maybe a slight uptick in Hawaii. As we are worried about Svartsengi, this is the Reykjanes Peninsula volcano that has been erupting time and time again. Yesterday morning, an increased microseismic activity was detected within the Sundanuka crater row. The activity taking place 50 minutes suggests rising pressure within the magmatic system. And, well, an eruption is imminent. Waiting for the next eruption, likelihood of an imminent eruption is highly likely. How do you like them likelinesses? We've also got Fuego to 15,000 foot today, Reventador 14,000 foot puff, Nevado de Ruiz to 20,000 foot, Sabancaya to 22,000, Fuego to 15, Ibu to 10, Semaru to 15,000 foot, Liwatobi to 9, Sabancaya to 22, Sungay to 24, Semaru, who knew? Now you do 15,000 foot puff earlier today, 8,000 foot puff at Dukono. And that is not going to wrap it up. Another 10,000 Ibu Puff and Abeko. Wrapping up the list with a 16,000 foot boom. Space weather, we did open up the show telling you about the long duration M8.2 solar flare earlier today. And it has been modeled. There is the flare in question. It's so far on the limb, I don't know how any of the component is coming our way. But they did look at telemetry. And they did model it. So let's bring it back to the eruption here. Boom. And you can see definitely based on this model, a potentially significant glancing blow on the 3rd. That means low-level geomagnetic storm. The current forecast is for G2, August 3rd and the 4th. Take a look at the detailed forecast. Could be up in G2 for up to 9 hours, according to this forecast, and that would mean amazing auroras the night of August 2nd. The man who scored $72 million from Bill Gates' funded carbon capture scam now turns his sights on blotting out the sun. What could go wrong? This scientist has a risky plan to cool Earth, and there is growing interest in it. Well, not from my listeners. The whole plan is to shoot sulfur dioxide into the stratosphere, and it wouldn't be limited to a particular area. This type of solar geoengineering could affect the whole world and possibly scramble the natural systems, like creating rain in once arid region, causing catastrophic flooding, while drying out the monsoon season elsewhere, causing famine. But David Keith wants to spray a pollutant into the sky to block some sunlight to save the world. This guy sounds like a complete psychopath. You want to know how to save the world? Grow your own food and buy seeds from a worker-owned, non-GMO, open-pollinated heirloom seed company like the Alliance of Native Seed Keepers. It's fall planting time, kids, and even summer flowers. Get your flowers, herbs, and vegetables, well, to survive and thrive in the potential coming times of World War III, just $2 a pack. You can use our coupon code ORP2024 for an additional 10% off. And if you buy more than $25 worth, it's free shipping. It's basically free seeds. And that is a boom to knowledge. Please share this video. We are shadow banned. We need your help to grow. Become a Patreon. Support the work we do and watch all of our podcasts in one place, commercial free, for as little as $1 a month. We love you. Be safe. And that's a boom.